We'll talk about how BlackRock is going to get into the XRP ETF game, why they haven't moved forward yet, and what's stopping them in this video. We'll also talk about some new information about Endo Finance, Chainlink, and JP Morgan. We'd like to be a part of the next round of tokenization with banks, so let's look into this more and find out why BlackRock isn't making an XRP ETF yet. I thought this was helpful, and some of you guys bring it up a lot in my live streams, so I wanted to have a more open conversation about it. If you find this helpful, please hit the like button. It helps me out. And you can leave a comment below if you want to talk, even though XRP is one of the most wanted altcoins for we got short time. BlackRock hasn't done anything about it yet. Short-term legal confusion. In the meantime, the SEC hasn't fully said whether XRP and other crypto assets are securities or commodities. If that's still true, courts have said that XRP isn't a property, but the SEC keeps putting off decisions about ETFs. Yes, approvals won't come until June or October. BlackRock won't do anything until all the rules are clear. Big investors use futures to protect themselves from risk. People are very interested in Bitcoin and Ethereum futures on CME. On Monday, November 19th, XRP futures began trading with $19 million, 0 cents in deals. This is a big step forward for the XRP futures market, which is still very new. Companies usually wait until things are stable and have a lot of cash on hand before getting involved. Right now, liquidity is not strong enough. XRP is one of the best altcoins in this group because it has a big market. XRP is right behind Ethereum. As you can see, there is also USDT, which is sometimes a little higher than XRP. However, XRP is the third biggest cryptocurrency that isn't stable. The SEC is keeping a close eye on things. They've done a lot to move this along, but surely they could do even more. What are they doing right now? Is it just sitting there and waiting? Maybe they're waiting for some of these bigger companies to start applying for these ETFs. If some smaller companies get their ETFs that are accepted first, I think the bigger companies could lose some work. Something doesn't seem right, but I'm not sure what it is. Pay attention to what works. BlackRock ETFs for Bitcoin and Ether are making a lot of money. Right now, BlackRock's major goal is to improve what's already working. Right now, XRP and Solana are the most popular ETFs for applications. BlackRock might wait to see how the SEC handles these reports before getting involved. We are waiting for demand to grow and for rules to get better. BlackRock is also waiting for people to ask for these things. It could be said that BlackRock got into Bitcoin mostly because of their website. A lot of people were looking for these products all the time. So if we can get the same amount of demand for XRP, you now have power because BlackRock will have to do something. If you have an account at one of the big banks and haven't seen anyone apply for XSpot ETF for XRP, you could email or call them. You now have the power to use it. Also, I have a free course at the bottom of the page that will teach you everything you need to know about crypto in less than an hour. Please let me know if you want to take it. Another thing that keeps Bitcoin and Ethereum from being widely used is institutional demand. We talked about this when it comes to XRP, Solana, XRP, and BNB Litecoin. I think SU will also be very popular in the next few years. Speaking of which, I think you'll see an SOI ETF at some point. Yes, this does talk about investing in digital assets. Last week, there was a net flow of about $6 million, 0 cents, ending 3 weeks of net withdrawals. XRP made up the difference, bringing in nearly $40 million, 0 cents in net new money. You all have some cool connections with each other. One of them is Craig Phillips, who worked at BlackRock and, of course, Ripple. Craig has 35 years of experience in the field and has been a leader at both Morgan Stanley and BlackRock. They do hire the best people, so it's always interesting to see who they pick. If they want to be the biggest blockchain technology company in the world, they should hire the smartest people, right? If you want to get ahead in life, you should hire smart people. For example, BlackRock is said to be keeping a close eye on Ripple and SC. You could say that BlackRock isn't sure if they want to get involved until this is all over. They brought up the SEC's case against Ripple and its leaders over the sales of XRP. What are any of your, I think there is still some work to be done on this case. It's not quite done yet. That might also be what's stopping them from getting involved. And Robbie Mitchnick and I also looked this over and made a whole movie about him. This is really cool. Mitchell is on the CEO senior team for BlackRock and is in charge of the company's digital advertising plan. He worked for another company before joining BlackRock. It's pretty clear who is in charge since Mr. Mitchnick used to work at Ripple and for the CPP Investment Board, where he worked on public markets and private investments. He is now the managing director of BlackRock's digital asset strategy and used to work at Ripple, so he knows how things are connected and how tricky it is that something like XRP is both a tool and an asset in the financial world, while Bitcoin is more of a trading store of value. This is another short rerun that Mikkel did. I'm so excited for this. RX will provide custody for their partners who use Ripple solutions. Ripple's custody solution and the XRP system will let the world's banks issue money market funds and other tokenized assets. Guys, this is the proof I need to be sure that BlackRock will be working very closely with Ripple. I don't know what else could make you more excited about the idea of an XRP ETF coming soon. If that doesn't, I really think this is going to be a great relationship from now on, and still very early stages. Okay, this also goes to JP Morgan and car loans. This was the first tokenized US Treasury. It's really cool to see JP Morgan systems working with infrastructure like Do Finance and Chainlinks to move this value. This was the first tokenized US Treasury for the payment of goods that are tokenized. As part of a deal we just closed, our public blockchain was used to buy tokenized treasuries from JP Morgan's permission blockchain ledger. This is a big first for the business world chain. With this deal, two types of blockchains, a bank's licensed blockchain and a public blockchain like OnoChain, can now work together for the first time. What's next? How does that look? To make sure it worked, this was the first deal on the testnet for the Onano chain. We're also working closely with James Link and JP Morgan to get this place up and running. If you are a client of either JP Morgan or Rondo, you will be able to move money between our tokenized accounts, cash goods, when 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We'll be happy to share that with you. Does that help in any way? To sum up, tokenized treasuries on public blockchains like the ones we've been working on are meant to make it easier for buyers from all over the world to access US treasuries. Be building on the success of stablecoins right now. Over $200 billion, 0 cents worth of stablecoins are in circulation, so that people in developing countries can use the dollar. At the same time, there are people in the crypto ecosystem who don't have easy access to banking services. JP Morgan and other banks and organizations have been trying to speed up and lower the cost of transferring money on permission blockchain ledgers. This is what JP Morgan's known for.